Let's get it going right now. Great to be back with you guys. Hope you guys had a fabulous weekend and you enjoyed the games over the weekend. As we are in Thanksgiving week, how fast does time go by? It's already Thanksgiving week. I had a decent week in the NFL yesterday. Had a winning week, a game tonight. Much better than the week before, which was an absolute disaster. So I got back to my winning ways in the NFL. Like I said, one game tonight. So without further ado, let's get to our picks for NFL week number 12 in the league where they play for pay. And let's get to the Thursday Thanksgiving games. We got 3 Thursday Thanksgiving games. Let's start in Detroit, where the Philadelphia Eagles are -1.5 at the Detroit Lions. Let's start with the Eagles. The Eagles got blasted at home yesterday by Tampa Bay, 45-17. I mean, let me say it again. The Eagles lost at home yesterday to Tampa Bay, 45-17. Winston and Tampa Bay torched Philadelphia. Philadelphia looks like they are finished. Chip Kelly is gone. He is not going to last. He is going to go back to college. He is going to be rumored for every big-time college job, whether it be USC or Miami, wherever else. Chip Kelly, go back to college. Go play Eastern Washington and run up the score 50-10. Go for 2 points every time you can, every chance you can get. Go win your 10 games. You're a college coach. Go back to college as fast as you can. It's not working in the NFL. Your little gimmicks are not working. This performance yesterday by Philadelphia was absolutely embarrassing. I mean, they were still alive for the division. They're still actually alive for the division, believe it or not, at 4-6. That's how bad that division is. They had just lost to Miami last week at home after blowing a 16-3 lead in the first quarter. They come out yesterday, they score right away, they're up 7-0, and then the doors just got blown off. The wheels came off. The Eagles were an absolute train wreck yesterday. I mean, they had the most embarrassing performance of the day. To lose 45-17 in your own building to Tampa Bay with a rookie quarterback. Winston had 5 touchdown passes. What a disgraceful loss for Philadelphia. Chip Kelly, please run back to college. I've seen enough of you. You are an embarrassment. I don't want to hear about Bradford being hurt. I don't want to hear about it. You can't beat Tampa Bay at home with Sanchez. Come on. I don't want to hear about it. And all Chip Kelly's moves in the offseason have backfired. You know, he gets rid of McCoy. He gets rid of this one. He brings in Tebow. He cuts Tebow. He's trying to always reinvent the wheel. Chip Kelly now, it's a disaster in Philadelphia. Your team is an embarrassment. And as far as this game, how in the world, on general principle, after what you've seen from the Eagles the last 2 weeks, do you make them a favorite on the road on a short week against a team that's won a couple games in a row? Now listen, I don't like Detroit either. Detroit's 3-7. They have won 2 in a row. They won in Lambeau 2 weeks ago, and they beat Oakland yesterday. And all of a sudden, Detroit's been playing defense. Detroit couldn't stop anyone the first 8 weeks of the season. Now the last 2 weeks, they stopped Green Bay in Green Bay. And yesterday, they hold Oakland to 13 points. They win the game 18-13. And Oakland was, playing really well on offense for most of this year. So all of a sudden, Detroit's got a defense. I don't know where that came from. Now, I don't like either team. I don't like this game. I wouldn't bet this game. But on general principle, anti-Eagle, I am protesting the Eagles now. I want Chip Kelly out. I want him gone. Go back to college. I am taking Detroit +1.5 on general principle. And like I said, I don't like either one of these teams. How, after yesterday's performance, do you make the Eagles a favorite against anybody? They lost 45-17 in their own building to Tampa Bay and a rookie quarterback. Detroit has won 2 in a row. Defense has played well the last 2 weeks. I will take Detroit, although I do not recommend taking this game at all. Stay away from it. These are 2 bad teams. You really don't know what you're going to get from them. I mean, what a sloppy, sloppy mess the Eagles have turned into. They are a complete embarrassment. The city of Philadelphia deserves a lot better than this. I mean, how in the world do you play like that yesterday? And I I was shocked. I thought they would play a lot better after being, blowing the lead to Miami last week, and they came out and just after going up 7-0, they got blown out. This was an embarrassing performance by Philadelphia. So I will take Detroit plus 1.5 at home. Just on general principle, that's an anti-Eagle pick more than a pro-Detroit pick. Chip Kelly, run back to college as fast as you can. You're done in the NFL. All right, so that is the first Thursday game. The second Thursday game is a very interesting game. The Dallas Cowboys at home, minus 1.5 against the Carolina Panthers. Dallas up to 3-7. Get Romo back, go into Miami and beat the Dolphins 24-14. Carolina up to 10-0, and they just smacked around Washington yesterday in Carolina 44-16. This is a very, very tough game. I actually thought Carolina was going to be like a 3.5 point favorite here. They actually made Dallas the favorite. This is a very, very strange game. Now listen, I'm going to stick to my guns here. I said Dallas was going to make a run once Romo came back, and I think they are going to make a run, so I'm going to stick with them. It's a short week. They're home. Carolina is due for a loss. They're not going to go undefeated, are they? I mean, I know Tony Dungy said they were. I mean, I can't see them going undefeated. I think Dallas is going to make a run and sneak back into this division race. The division's bad. The Giants are 5-5 leading it. So I'm going to stick with Dallas making a run here. I would love to be getting some points here. I thought for sure I'd be getting 3.5 points here. I thought it would be like a field goal game. I'll get 3.5 points with Dallas. I'm actually giving points here. It's not a lot of respect for Carolina. I'm going to reluctantly take Dallas minus 1.5. I think they have a run in them. Now listen, if you like Carolina in this game, I could not argue with you. This spread is pretty disrespectful of Carolina. Carolina's undefeated and been mowing teams down, so it's a little disrespectful. But I'm going to take Dallas. I'm going to say they're going to go on a run here, get back into this division race. They got Romo back. They're home. It's a short week, and I think Carolina could be due for a loss. I mean, they're not going to go undefeated, in my opinion, anyway. So I'm going to reluctantly take Dallas minus 1.5 at home against Carolina. Very tough game. If you like Carolina, I could not argue with you. And the Thursday night game, we go to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field, where the Green Bay Packers are minus 7 against the Chicago Bears. Green Bay up to 7-3. They go back into first place as they dusted Minnesota, and Minnesota 30-13. Minnesota had won a bunch of games in a row. Green Bay had lost 3 in a row, so you thought maybe Minnesota was going to win this game. Not so fast. Green Bay said, we're still top dog in this division, and they just smacked around Minnesota, had that running game cooking, so Green Bay really, really played well yesterday. And now all the Green Bay Packer fans can come back off the ledge. They were ready to jump. They thought the season was over. You look up, Green Bay's back in the first place, and they looked really, really good yesterday. Minnesota looked a little wide-eyed, looked like they weren't quite ready for prime time. Made a lot of mistakes. We'll get to them in a second. But Green Bay really, really played well yesterday. Now, as far as this game, Green Bay minus 7 against Chicago. Green Bay's home. Chicago is 4-6. Lost to Denver 17-15 yesterday in Chicago. Chicago misses the 2-pointer to tie it. Remember, Manning didn't play for Denver. I mean, I got to go with Green Bay here. First of all, they're retiring Favre's jersey that night, so the fans are going to be absolutely electric. The team is going to be really up off the big win against Minnesota. So I think Green Bay is going to be flying for this game. They always beat the Bears. They've beaten the Bears like a million games in a row. I know Chicago's been playing a little better, but they are still 4-6. They lost to a Manningless Denver team yesterday. I don't trust Chicago, so I'm going to take Green Bay. I think they're going to be flying for this game. The Favre ceremony crowd should be really amped up. Remember, I like those Thursday home games, Thursday teams that are home because it's a short week. Road teams got to travel. Green Bay coming off the huge win. They got to be sky high for this game. I think Green Bay wins. They cover the 7. I like Green Bay at home, minus 7 against the Bears on Brett Favre night. So those are the Thursday Thanksgiving games. Let's go to the Sunday games. Let's go to Nashville, Tennessee, where the Oakland Raiders are minus 1.5 against the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee 2-8 coming off a bye. Raiders very disappointing 4-6. They were playing so well there for a while. They've now lost a few games in a row. Lost to Detroit yesterday. Couldn't get that offense going again for the second week in a row. I thought for sure Oakland was going to come out firing yesterday, but they just couldn't get anything going offensively. Oakland minus 1.5 at Tennessee here. I got to go with Oakland, even though they've lost 3 in a row. I don't like Tennessee. They're 2-8. I cannot trust them. I have to think Oakland is going to respond here. I thought they'd respond last week. Very disappointing. They have to respond here against Tennessee to have any chance of making a playoff run. So I like Oakland -1.5 at Tennessee. Hopefully Oakland gets that offense cooking after the offense has been sleepwalking the last 2 weeks. Let's go to Arrowhead in Kansas City, where the Kansas City Chiefs are home -4 against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo 5-4. They play at New England tonight. We'll keep an eye on that game. Kansas City 5-5. They've won 4 in a row, and they just bombed San Diego 33-3. All of a sudden, Kansas City has found their game. They were 1-5 to start the year. Now they've won 4 in a row. They're getting right back into the playoff race. So really nice job by Kansas City. Hey, Buffalo's going to be on a short week. Buffalo's up and down. Kansas City is a very tough place to play. Arrowhead Stadium is a very hard place to play. I put that on your bucket list. It is a great place to watch a game. I got to like the Chiefs here. They are too red hot right now. I mean, they've won 4 games in a row. I got to ride the Chiefs. Chiefs -4 against Buffalo. That is pick number 5. Pick number 6 is a very strange game. The Indianapolis Colts are home -3.5 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Indianapolis is 5-5. They're still in first place. They came back and beat Atlanta 24-21 on the road yesterday, and they didn't have luck. What a gutty win for Indianapolis. Terrible loss for Atlanta, by the way. We'll get to them. But nice win by Indianapolis yesterday. I mean, they're playing Hasselbeck at quarterback, who's 150 years old. So nice job by the Colts finding a way to win yesterday on the road. Tampa Bay also 5-5, and like I said, they dusted Philadelphia. I got to give Tampa Bay a lot of credit. Remember week 1 when they lost at home to Tennessee like 100-10, and we thought this was going to be a team that won 1 game. They're 5-5, and they're a hair away from being 6-4. Remember that huge lead against Washington, let it slip away. Tampa Bay is really battling here. This game is very, very strange. Indianapolis at home -3.5. Listen, if Luck plays, I'll take Indianapolis. If Luck doesn't play, I'll probably take Tampa Bay. I don't think Luck is going to play. I never thought I'd say it. I'm leaning towards Tampa. They've been playing really well. They're in a lot of games. They're very competitive. And I just don't trust Hasselbeck. He's 120 years old. I mean, come on. So we'll see if Luck plays. I don't think he will, but we'll keep an eye on that as the week goes on. So that's pick number 6. Pick number 7. Let's go down to Washington, D.C. The Washington Redskins are pick'em with the New York Giants. Giants leading the division at 5-5. Redskins are 4-6, and they just got torched by Carolina yesterday. Washington's defense is terrible. Their quarterback play is spotty. They do have a decent running game. They do have a decent offensive line. They got Jackson at receiver, but Washington, like I said last week, you can't trust them. They just looked so good last week and just polished off the Saints, just bombed them, and then they come back and put an effort like this on you. That's Washington. You look up, though, they're only a game out of first place, so this is a very big game. I just trust the Giants more, and I trust Eli Manning more than I do Cousins. So I'm going to take the Giants here, pick them over Washington in D.C. I can't trust Washington. I just can't. Giants already beat Washington this year up in New York, and the Giants did whatever they wanted on offense in that game. Could be the same here. I don't like Washington's defense at all. I'll take the Giants, pick them in D.C. That's pick number 7. Pick number 8. Let's go to Houston, where the Houston Texans are home, -3.5 against the New Orleans Saints. Saints coming off a bye. The Saints are 4-6, and they've fallen apart, fired the defensive coordinator. How about Houston? Houston's up to 5-5. They're tied for first place. They beat the Jets yesterday, and that's after they beat Cincinnati on Monday Night Football, and they're doing it with the backup quarterback. They're doing it without Foster. Houston's defense, which at the beginning of the year I thought was going to be very good, was very bad. I thought Houston was going to be atrocious. Remember they gave up 40 points in the first half to Miami not too long ago? Well, since then their defense has been lights out. They're up to 5-5, and they're playing good, solid football right now. So great job by Houston turning this around. I thought their defense had some possibilities. They're really starting to peak. They're going to be a defensive team. They're going to run the ball a little bit, be conservative on offense. Defense is their calling card. But why? Listen, I got to take Houston here. They're hot, and the Saints are atrocious. The Saints can't stop anyone. The Saints give up 50 points every week. They give up points like they're giving away candy. The Saints are an atrocious team. I can't take them on the road against a hot Houston team that actually plays defense. No. I'll take Houston -3.5 at home against the Saints. That's pick number 8. Pick number 9. Let's go to Atlanta, where the Atlanta Falcons are -3 against the Minnesota Vikings. What has happened to Atlanta? They're down to 6-4. They lost to Indianapolis yesterday at home with Hasselbeck at quarterback. I mean, Hasselbeck's 155 years old, yet he leads the way for Indianapolis yesterday against Atlanta. What an atrocious loss for the Falcons. The Falcons, who got off to such a hot start this year, have now fallen to pieces the last 6 weeks. They can't win a game. They can't even win in their own building. Matt Ryan throwing interceptions left and right. He had 3 turnovers yesterday. Atlanta had a 21-7 lead at home against the Colts yesterday, and the Colts do not have luck, and Atlanta still couldn't find a way to win the game. So terrible job by the Atlanta Falcons. They are falling to absolute pieces. Minnesota, they're 7-3. They got bombed by Green Bay yesterday, and they did not look good doing it. I mean, Minnesota looked very wide-eyed. They looked like they weren't ready for prime time. Minnesota made a million mistakes. What it told me yesterday is Green Bay is still the class of the division. Minnesota is building, but they're not quite ready just yet. But I think Minnesota will respond here. I don't trust Atlanta at all anymore. Atlanta has fallen to pieces. I mean, they show me nothing, Atlanta, anymore. I mean, I think they're going to fall out of the playoff race. I don't like what I see at all from the Falcons. I think Minnesota is going to be upset that they had a terrible loss at home to Green Bay where they got pushed around. I think they're going to respond in a big way here. I think Minnesota gets back to their winning ways, and they beat Atlanta in Atlanta. So I will take Minnesota +3 in Atlanta. That is pick number 9. Pick number 10, let's go to the jungle in Cincinnati, where the Cincinnati Bengals are home, -7 against the St. Louis Rams. Cincinnati is 8-2. All of a sudden, they've lost a couple games in a row. They lose at home to Houston on Monday night, where they can't get one touchdown. Then they lose a shootout yesterday in Arizona, 34-31, in a very good game. St. Louis is down to 4-6. They've lost a bunch in a row now. They lost to Baltimore yesterday, 16-13, after having a 13-3 lead against a Baltimore team that has no one left. Flacco has a torn ACL, and he's leading Baltimore on the game-winning drive. Baltimore has injuries all over the place on offense, yet the Rams couldn't find a way to stop them. The Rams, 4 turnovers yesterday. 4 turnovers. I mean, come on, St. Louis. You have to be better than this. You can't beat Baltimore. I mean, come on. Baltimore couldn't beat anybody this year. Baltimore has injuries all over the field. I was watching a little bit of this game, and they said Baltimore and Flacco have never had this bad of an offense. I mean, St. Louis has a 13-3 lead in this game against a dead carcass in Baltimore, and they cannot hold on. Flacco is leading the game-winning drive with a torn ACL. So an atrocious job by the St. Louis Rams. Jeff Fisher has to be heartsick. They were 4-3 playing good football. They even had a win in Arizona this year, and they have now fallen flat on their face. They've lost 3 in a row. St. Louis is another team going in the wrong direction. They're playing the backup quarterback. I got to like Cincinnati here in a big way. Cincinnati has lost 2 in a row. They are home. They are going to be angry, and St. Louis cannot move the ball from here to there. What did they have, like 120 yards passing yesterday? That's not going to get it done in the year 2015 in the NFL. I like Cincinnati to manhandle St. Louis. St. Louis can't score. Look for Cincinnati to get back to their winning ways. Cincinnati at home, -7 against St. Louis in the jungle. That's pick number 10. Pick number 11, let's go to Jacksonville. Here's a doozer of a game, where the Jacksonville Jaguars are -1.5 against the San Diego Chargers. Jacksonville 4-6 beat Tennessee on Thursday night. Jacksonville's only a game out of first place, believe it or not. San Diego 2-8, couldn't score a touchdown yesterday. They got just ambushed by the Chiefs 33-3 at home. San Diego's got all sorts of issues on offense now. A bunch of guys out. You know the defense is atrocious. San Diego is history. I'm taking Jacksonville here. San Diego's got to go across the country on Thanksgiving week. They're 2-8, all banged up. Their season is over. And Jacksonville, listen, they're still alive for things. They're only a game out of first place. They're going to have a long week. They played on Thursday, so they're going to have a long week to prepare. I like Jacksonville here. Spread's only 1.5. I think Jacksonville's better than San Diego. I'll take Jacksonville at home, -1.5 against the Chargers. That's pick number 11. Pick number 12, let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey, not too far from here, where the New York Jets are -3 against the Miami Dolphins. Both teams going in the wrong direction. Both teams falling apart. Jets are 5-5. Lost to Houston yesterday. Revis with a concussion. Running back hurt. Fitzpatrick playing hurt. He's not any good anyway. Jets got a ton of injuries. Miami 4-6 after their little spurt there with the interim coach. They've gone in the wrong direction. They lose at home to Dallas yesterday. I mean, both of these teams, I mean, this should be an ugly, sloppy mess. I guess I'll take the Jets just because they're home. I don't love this game. I would stay away from this game. I'll take the Jets just because they're home, but these two teams are going in the wrong direction. I'll take the Jets -3 there. That's pick number 12. Pick number 13, let's go to San Francisco, where the Arizona Cardinals are -8 against the San Francisco 49ers. Cardinals 8-2 had a nice win against Cincinnati yesterday, 34-31 in a really, really nice game. Hope you caught that game. Carson Palmer, after a couple early picks, threw 4 touchdown passes. San Francisco 3-6, lost to Seattle, no surprise. They're playing Gabbert at quarterback. Kaepernick out for the year. San Francisco's going nowhere. I gotta like Arizona here. Arizona's one of the better teams in the NFC. San Francisco is one of the worst teams in the NFC, and they're playing their backup quarterback. I'll take Arizona and take my chances. I'll take Arizona -8 against the Niners in Santa Clara. That's pick number 13. Pick number 14. Let's go to Seattle, where the Seattle Seahawks are -3 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Seattle, of course, beat San Francisco yesterday. Pittsburgh had a bye week. They are 6-4. This is the battle of the backup running backs. Remember, Bell is out for the year for Pittsburgh. It looks like now Lynch could be out for the year for Seattle, so you could have the battle of the backup running backs here. Very, very interesting game. I still like Seattle at home when all's said and done, and I don't love the Steelers on the road. The Steelers at home, I really like them, always pick them at home. Don't love them on the road, and I never go against Seattle at home. And Seattle has no margin for error anymore. I mean, they really have to win a lot of their games now to get back into this playoff race. Remember, there's still a couple games, they're 3 games actually behind Arizona. They're not going to win the division, so they got to win the wild card. They're right there for the wild card, but you know, you can't afford any slip-ups. I'm going to take Seattle here reluctantly. I think this is a tough game, but I never go against Seattle at home. I'll take the Seahawks at home, -3 against the Steelers. That's pick number 14. Pick number 15. This is the Sunday night game. The New England Patriots are -4.5 at the Denver Broncos. New England, of course, plays tonight. Remember, New England has a few injuries now, so we'll keep an eye on that. Denver 8-2, hung on and beat Chicago. We don't know if Manning's going to play or not. I mean, who knows about him? He's got that slight tear. I mean, I guess I got to go with New England here. I mean, New England, we'll see how they play tonight. And I know New England has a few injuries. And I know Manning's out, so you got a lot of moving parts here in this game. But I'll take New England right now because I'm going to say Manning doesn't play. And you know that, you know, the new quarterback for Denver. New England usually plays well against, you know, new quarterbacks. So I'll take New England -4 at Denver. I'll tell you, Denver's defense, I got to give them credit. They've single-handedly won about 6 games this year, and they made the big play again yesterday. Their defense really makes a lot of plays. You go back and look at Denver's schedule, their defense has won about 6 games this year, so great job by the Denver defense. They have one of the best secondaries in all of football, but I'll take New England there. That's pick number 15, and then the Monday night game. Who scheduled this Monday night game? The Cleveland Browns at home -1 against the Baltimore Ravens. Now listen, Baltimore's usually good. Who put Cleveland on Monday Night Football? Cleveland is never good. Cleveland is 2-8 coming off a bye. You know, looks like Manziel will be the star the rest of the year. Baltimore 3-7, did find a way to win yesterday. Flacco now out for the year. Baltimore's whole offense is out for the year. I mean, so I'll go with Cleveland just because I don't know if Baltimore could score any points. I mean, I know Baltimore's defense will come to play, and I don't trust Manziel, but I don't think Baltimore's going to be able to score. I mean, now with this offense, everyone's out. So I'll take Cleveland at home, -1 against Baltimore, in just an absolutely awful Monday Night Football game. So there you go. Those are your picks for Week 12 in the NFL. Like I said, I had a slight winning week this week in the NFL. I do have a game tonight. I did count Denver as a win. I originally picked Denver -3 last week, but Manning, you know, that's when Manning was going to play. When Manning was ruled out, that spread went down to -1. I stuck with Denver, so Denver won by 2, so I counted that game as a win. So I did have a slight winning week in the NFL, which was much better than last week. I am up to about, with a game tonight, maybe 5-6 games over 500 in the NFL. And that's counting that awful week I had 2 weeks ago. So got back to my winning ways, so I was happy with what I did in the NFL this week. Also won a couple over and unders that I didn't give you that I took at the last minute. So I had a decent week in the NFL. As far as college football, week 13, I did have a winning week in college football. Yesterday, Saturday, I should say, I was 4-3. That gets me up to about 5 games over for college football as well. I'll tell you, this week in college football coming up is one of my favorite weeks of the year. I mean, all the rivalry games. I love this week in college football. I love the classic rivals. If you're a college football fan, this is the essence of college football. These are better than so many bowl games. I mean, when you have these classic rivals, these teams, some of them have been playing for 100 years against each other. I mean, this is a great weekend in the college football. And after this weekend, all you got is your conference championships, your Army, Navy, and your bowl games, and you get to the Final Four. So this is really the end of the college football regular season. Hard to believe how fast does it go. I feel like it was just Labor Day. Now we're in Thanksgiving. It's basically over already. Unbelievable. So this is a great week in college football coming up. As far as last weekend, Clemson continues to win. They look like they're headed to the Final Four playoff. Alabama won. Michigan State, how about their gutty win over Ohio State in Ohio with the backup quarterback? What a job by Michigan State. With the backup quarterback, they beat Ohio State. And Ohio State's running back went off, said he didn't like the play calling, said they were too conservative. I know he shouldn't have said it publicly. I agree with him. I thought Ohio State's game plan was awful. No downfield passes against a Michigan State secondary that was suspect. I didn't like Ohio State's game plan either, but the running back can't say that publicly. So that was a bad loss by Ohio State. Losing to Michigan State with Michigan State's backup quarterback, that basically knocks Ohio State out, and Michigan State is now in the running. Iowa continues to stay undefeated. They have a big game at Nebraska on Friday. Notre Dame at Stanford this week is a huge game. How about Baylor with their third-string quarterback going into Oak State and beating the Cowboys? Nice job by Baylor. Oklahoma hung on and beat TCU. They almost blew a big lead. TCU actually had a 2-point conversion to win the game, and they got stopped. TCU almost came back and pulled this game out with the backup quarterback. Oklahoma's quarterback also went out, so they played their backup quarterback for most of the second half. So quarterbacks going out left and right. Oklahoma hung on. That kept them alive for everything. They almost blew that game, got very conservative in the second half. Florida hung on to beat Florida Atlantic in overtime. Florida is sleepwalking lately. Bailey beat Florida Atlantic. Bailey beat Vanderbilt. I think the Florida coach in the postgame said Florida's intensity is like a fish on ice at the supermarket. So I found that funny. Florida, big one this week against Florida State. Houston lost to UConn, so Houston no longer undefeated. Nice job by UConn winning that game. UConn's defense pretty good. And Harvard beat Yale in the big game. So that was your games over the weekend. As far as this week, I'll tell you, there are some really great rivalry games. Let me go through some of them for you. Washington State, the Apple Cup. Oregon State, the Civil War. Michigan, Ohio State, the big game, although it's lost a little luster with Ohio State losing. Virginia Tech, Beamer's last game at Va-Tech, possibly. If they don't win, they don't go to a bowl. North Carolina State. North Carolina's only got one loss. Florida State, Florida, the Battle of the Sunshine State. Florida's still alive for the Final Four playoff, so very interesting game there. Georgia Tech, they call that game clean, good old-fashioned hate. Although both teams are kind of struggling this year, especially Georgia Tech. What a miserable year they had. Alabama, Auburn, the Iron Bowl in Auburn. Remember the last time 2 years ago when they played in Auburn? The big run back. Auburn wins the game. I don't know if Auburn could pull it off this year. I mean, Auburn always plays Alabama well, but I can't see Auburn winning this year. Alabama, of course, alive for everything. The Iron Bowl, always a classic, always a must-watch. Clemson at South Carolina. Clemson, of course, trying to go undefeated. Wisconsin against Minnesota. They play for that big axe. Oklahoma State, the Bedlam Series. Is a huge game for Oklahoma. That's what College Game Day will be. Mississippi State, the Egg Bowl. USC, UCLA, the Battle of LA. The winner goes to the Pac-12 championship. And you might want to keep an eye on LSU, Texas A&M. LSU's lost 3 in a row. Les Miles may be on the hot seat there in LSU, so you might want to keep an eye on that. As far as my picks this week, I have a few picks for you. I have 5 picks for you. Let's go to pick number 1. Let's go to Arkansas, where Arkansas is at home, minus 13 against Missouri. Arkansas 6-5, lost a heartbreaker to Mississippi State over the weekend, and Missouri is 5-6, lost to Tennessee over the weekend. Missouri can't score. I know this is the coach's last game. Missouri cannot score any points. I like Arkansas here to rebound off a loss. I like Arkansas to roll in this game. Arkansas minus 3 against Missouri. That's pick number 1. Pick number 2, let's go to Knoxville, where Tennessee is 7-4, minus 17 against Vandy. Vandy is 4-7. Tennessee has won 4 straight. They're on a real roll now. Vanderbilt can't get out of their own way. We know that. They're never any good, really. They got shut out at home by Texas A&M last week. So I'm going to take Tennessee here, minus 17. Tennessee always wins these games at the end of the year. They always beat Vanderbilt. Tennessee at home, minus 17 against Vanderbilt. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3, let's go to Fresno, where Colorado State is minus 9 over Fresno State. Colorado State 6-5. They've won a couple in a row. They're bowl eligible. Fresno State is 3-8. This is not the Fresno State of yesteryear when they were coached by Pat Hill, when they were a good team, when they would play anyone, anytime, anywhere. Fresno State has fallen on hard times. Colorado State is just better. I like CSU minus 9 over Fresno. That's pick number 3. Pick number 4. Let's go to the Farm in Stanford, where Stanford is minus 3 against Notre Dame. This is a huge, huge game. Notre Dame has to have this game to have any chance of making it to the Final Four. Stanford, of course, out of the Final Four. They will be in the Pac-12 title game, though, against either USC or UCLA. I don't like the way Notre Dame plays on the road this year. Now, listen, Notre Dame's done a great job. They've had a lot of injuries. They've only lost 1 game. But they barely beat BC this week at Fenway Park. They barely beat Virginia at Virginia. I know they had a tough loss against Clemson. They played well there. But overall, I don't like the way Notre Dame plays on the road this year. So I'm going to take Stanford, who is perennially a good home team. They just beat Cal over the weekend in the big game in Stanford. So I'm going to say Stanford wins this game, knocks Notre Dame out of the Final Four playoff. I like Stanford minus 3 against Notre Dame on the Farm. That's pick number 4. And pick number 5. This is, I guess, the big game of the weekend. This is where College Game Day is. Oklahoma minus 4 at Oklahoma State. We'll see about the Oklahoma quarterback situation. Listen, Oklahoma State had a heartbreaking loss at home to Baylor last week when they lost to the third-string quarterback. That knocked Oklahoma State out of everything, I think. So I think Oklahoma State is going to be down for this game. Oklahoma survived last week, but they did win. Oklahoma has a legitimate chance to get to the Final Four playoff, but they need this game the worst way. If you look at the history of this rivalry, it's all Oklahoma all the time. Oklahoma always beats Oak State. I think they'll do it again. Oklahoma minus 4 against Oklahoma State. That's where College Game Day will be. Those are my 5 picks for college football. But there are so many great rivalry games. You have to watch Alabama-Auburn. You have to watch Michigan-Ohio State. I mean, USC, UCLA is always a fun game. Oklahoma State, you got to watch. Wisconsin, Minnesota, you got to love that when the winner gets that big axe at the end of the game. Clemson, South Carolina, a lot of bad blood there. Florida State, a lot on the line for the Gators who have not been playing well. There are some tremendous rivalry games this week in college football. If there's one Saturday you want to watch college football, and actually this goes on all weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, you want to watch this weekend in college football. It's that good. Classic rivalries. I absolutely love this week in college football. So that's my picks for college football, week number 13. We get to the conference championship games next week. Hard to believe. All right, so that's your football. Real quick, some other stuff. NBA, listen, to me, when I look at the NBA, it's going to be Golden State and Cleveland again. Cleveland, of course, last year lost to Golden State. We'll see if Cleveland can get healthy this year. Remember, they were very shorthanded last year against Golden State. No Love, Irving got hurt. We'll see if they can have a healthy roster. I think it's going to be Cleveland and Golden State again. Golden State's undefeated. They're rolling. Remember, the best team in the NBA usually wins, so it's hard to see Golden State and Cleveland not getting back to the finals. Now, I know San Antonio's good. I know the Bulls, if Rose ever stays healthy, are good. But to me, it's Golden State and Cleveland again in the finals, and we'll see if Cleveland can be healthy this year and make a series of it. As far as some other teams, the Clippers, what are they doing? 6-7? I mean, they should be a lot better than this. They got blown out at home by Toronto yesterday. I mean, Doc Rivers looks lost. He doesn't know what's wrong with the team. I mean, you figure you get the big man back after you thought he was going to Dallas. He comes back to the team. You got Poole, you got Griffin. Should be better than 6-7. Houston already fired their coach. What's going on with them? Does Dwight Howard ever work on his game? I mean, Dwight Howard, a major disappointment. How about the Knicks and this young rookie? I mean, how about the Knicks and this young rookie? He looks like he can play. That's why the whole draft and the whole draft analysis, you take it with a grain of salt. You know, everyone said they love this guy, love this guy. No one thought this guy for the Knicks was going to be any good for years to come. He's already playing good basketball, so maybe there's some positive for the Knicks finally after just years and years of doing nothing. How bad are the Lakers? How bad are the Lakers? I'll tell you how bad they are. I think the Lakers are one of the 3 worst teams in the NBA. I think they're the worst team in the Western Conference. The only teams they may be better than are Philly and Brooklyn, and that's a maybe. The Lakers are atrocious. Kobe Bryant needs to retire. The draft picks, who everyone thought were going to be good, so far a little shaky. I'll tell you, the Lakers are in deep, deep trouble. They could be bad for a long time. Now, I know it's always an attractive market for free agents to go to LA, but right now, there's nothing to like about the Lakers. They look like one of the 3 worst teams in all of basketball. So I've been watching some NBA. Like I said, Golden State and Cleveland. I'd be shocked if it wasn't them. NHL real quick. To me, Montreal looks really good. The Rangers look good. Washington looks good. And how about Dallas? Dallas looks really good this year. So those 4 teams look really, really good in the NHL. Still all sorts of time for NHL. College basketball, I've been watching a little. #1 North Carolina lost at Northern Iowa. That's a tough place to play, Northern Iowa, so I wasn't too shocked by that. Kentucky rolled over Duke last week. Duke did come back and win a couple of games at the Garden over the weekend. Maryland looks like a good team. I watched a bunch of them. Michigan State beat Kansas. Michigan State is always good. Tom Izzo is a great coach. You know, Michigan State, whatever their record is, throw it out. They're always going to make a run in the tournament. And to me, Villanova is the class of the Big East again, by far. Villanova is by far the class of the Big East. They don't have a lot of size, but they are the class of the Big East. So I've been watching a little college basketball, just getting going in that. As far as boxing, I did see Alvarez beat Cotto over the weekend, unanimous decision. Workman-like performance by Alvarez. This should come to a shock to no one. I mean, come on, Cotto's way past his prime. Alvarez is a young lion. You had to figure Alvarez was going to win this fight. You can't expect Cotto to win this fight. I actually was surprised it went the distance. I thought Alvarez may be able to stop him, so give Cotto credit for making the fight competitive, going the distance. But Alvarez is too young right now, too much in his prime, and Cotto's a little over the hill. I'd like to see Cotto retire, to be honest. He's done all you can do in boxing. Alvarez gets the win there, sets up some big fights with him down the road. And NASCAR, and I don't talk about NASCAR a lot. I do peek at it from time to time. I'm not saying I'm watching every race for 4 or 5 hours, but I do keep track of what's going on. Congratulations to Kyle Busch. He wins the NASCAR championship. Great job by Kyle Busch. He had a serious injury not too long ago. He got into an accident, hurt his leg, did some great job rehab, and he wins the whole thing. So great job by Kyle Busch there. Tremendous job by him. And, of course, Jeff Gordon, who's on the cover of Sports Illustrated here, he retires. Jeff Gordon, an amazing driver, one of the best drivers in history. Jeff Gordon retires, but it was Kyle Busch's night. Kyle Busch wins the championship. Great job by him, so I wanted to mention that. Okay, you guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. You have your picks for NFL Week 12. You have your picks for college football Week 13. I am over 500 in both college and the NFL. Got back to my winning ways in the NFL this past week. So you guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. This is a great week for football. You got football on all the time. Tonight you got New England. You got 3 Thursday games. You got college football Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You got the NFL on Thursday and Sunday. I mean, this is wall-to-wall football this week. And if you're ever going to sit down and watch college football, this Saturday is the day to do it. The rivalries are to die for. Watch Alabama, Auburn, please. Watch Michigan, Ohio State. Watch the way these rivals just go at it. These games mean so much to these teams. It's just the essence of college football. And if you can ever get to one of these games, get down there. I know Thanksgiving week, it's a tough time to travel. They kill you with expenses, with plane and airfare and all that kind of stuff. You can ever get to one of these games, you ever get to like a Florida State, a Clemson, South Carolina, get to one of these games, you will have an absolute ball. Okay, there you go. You guys are all set. You guys have a happy and healthy Thanksgiving week. You guys enjoy the week with your family and friends. Enjoy the games. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Thanks as always for the support. Take care.